Welcome to the latest printed press. I'm Aisha Jamal, and today we've got a very special program yet again for our audiences out there. We're going to be talking about Cypriot communities coming together during this period of COVID-19. And with us today is Eleni Palazidou and Artun Gökşen, who are both part of the COVID-19 Cypriot Communities Solidarity Group. Welcome, Eleni and Artun.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to my program. Thank you for coming on today to talk about this very important topic and group. First of all, Eleni, could you give us a little bit of a background as to yourself, please, for our audiences?
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me on your program. I'm delighted to be here, be given the opportunity to say a few things. I'm a psychiatrist by profession. I worked as a consultant psychiatrist in the NHS for many years. Yeah. And in more recent years, I'm mainly in an academic post at Batson the London Medical School. And I also teach at the medical school in Cyprus at the University of Nicosia. I also do some medical legal work and continue with some clinical work as well. Now, in addition to my medical responsibilities, I'm the chair of the Union of Cypriots in the UK, which is one of the groups that is part of the bigger group of the COVID-19 community solidarity group. And we've been working closely with some Turkish Cypriot groups for some years now as our organization MECA. I'm also involved with some work with other ethnic minorities, in particular the Somali people. I've been doing a lot of work in terms of helping with the mental health services in Somalia and the diaspora group here. And I'm the chair of the Anglo-Somali Society. So I wear several hats.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on my program. We keep cutting out today. Apologies for me. Artun Bey, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and then also about the group's background and how it was formed?
Hello and good afternoon. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be discussing this important issue on Genç TV. My name is Artun Gökşen. I am a driving instructor at the moment by profession. But previous to being a driving instructor, I was a journalist for 15 years. So I was very active in the community. So I've been involved in many organizations and community work. I'm also a member of the Cyprus Turkish Democratic Association, which is also involved in this work. I'm a researcher, a writer. So as a person, I'm trying to help in this organization's activities as well.
Brilliant. So, could you tell us a little bit about the group as well?
Okay.
And how it was formed?
So once the COVID-19 came along and everyone was locked down, we all started staying indoors. But what made us form this group was the death of a number of people in our communities, and the spark, shall I say, came from Süleyman Fuat, who is a member of our group. Yes. Süleyman Fuat lost his very, very, very dear friend Kamil Abi. He was his best person that he used to meet every day, and he's also his relative. We all knew Kamil Abi from his from his activities in the organizations, but Süleyman Fuat was closer to him. So when he lost Kamil Ahmed, and then after 4 days, Kamil Abi's son Ahmed Kamil was also lost due to COVID-19. This was a big shock. So Süleyman Fuat said, we need to do something. We are closed indoors. We need to do something to help people out there, because these people died from COVID-19 and we are hands tied in our houses. We can't do anything. There must be something that we can do. Yeah. So he spoke to a couple of us and he spoke to a couple of Greek Cypriot friends, and he said, let's do something about this. So they came together and they formed the organization COVID-19 Cypriot Community Solidarity Group, and they decided to form a Facebook page, and it started like that. And I was involved, Derman was involved, Fotos was involved, Eleni was involved. So it's about 15, 20 of us, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, and we said, let's go reach out and help in any way that we can to, because this COVID-19 didn't distinguish between nationalities, didn't distinguish between whether you are a Turkish Cypriot or a Greek Cypriot or a Maronite. And it was this disease hit the Cypriot community in high numbers.
Yes, it has.
And if you look at the numbers, we can see that 30,000 people died in the UK, 301 people from the Cypriot community, which corresponds to 1%, is a big, big proportion. It's not proportionate to what we are in numbers residing in the UK. So anyway, we formed the group like that. And then once we formed the Facebook group, we said what we can do is to reach out and get in touch with all the sites that help the Cypriot community, be it the councils, other organizations, all the voluntary organizations. So we try to get in touch with everyone and bring them all together in our group so that they can liaise and link with each other, so that we can get people also to contact us, and then we put them in touch with each other, and so that we can form the link and people can get help when they need it. And it was very, very successful. It was only formed on the 13th of April, and today is the 8th of May. It's less than a month, and we've done a lot. I mean, we can still try to reach more people out there, and the voice is heard, and people are coming in, and all we do is put them in touch, and then we can get them to get the help they need.
Of course. So it's basically like a way of linking the communities together and putting all the information in one place rather than it be dispersed everywhere. So that way it means that people can get help much quicker and faster, isn't it? And hopefully that's one of the key things about COVID-19 is actually getting the help. I was recently, just about half an hour ago, talking to a relative who's just lost somebody, and they said it's the reason why they passed away was because they were at home and didn't get the help in time. So it's certainly, I think, in these days, linking up and putting all the information in one place is very, very important. Eleni, Artur sort of touched upon this, but could you go into a little bit more detail about the statistics of the Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot, if you know it, deaths for our audiences?
Yes, of course. The latest that we know of, as Artur has already said, the total number of Cypriots who died so far is 301. And that includes 204 Greek Cypriots, 95 Turkish Cypriots, 2 Maronites, and none in the Armenian and Latin community, as far as we know. Now, as Artur said, this seems to be a lot more than one would expect, given the population of Cypriots in the UK. But the reality is that we don't know exactly the total number of our Cypriots or Cypriot origin population. And of course, we now have second, third, fourth generations who consider themselves British, so they don't put themselves down as Cypriot. So it's very difficult to be accurate about that, about the percentage of our population as to the total or the percentage of deaths. Nevertheless, any death is one too much for the families, for the friends, and for the community as a whole. And in terms of how we collect the information about the deaths, it is mainly done by 2 newspapers, Parikiyaki, which is a Greek Cypriot newspaper, and Londra, Turkish Cypriot, and they work together. So they inform each other of any deaths in any part of the community. And they also are in touch with the community as a whole. So anybody in the community can report back there's been a death due to COVID. with funeral parlors and with the local councils. So they collect as much information as they can, but of course it's not full. There may be deaths that we miss. But I think we could say that this is the minimum number of deaths. It certainly won't be less than this, but it's possible that it's a lot more than this. Most of the deaths are in London, where presumably most of the population is concentrated in London, Cypriot population. But I don't want to alarm people in terms of our numbers. We certainly do not compare with other ethnic groups like the Black population, who have a disastrous 4 times higher risk of dying. So we're not really at that level, but this doesn't mean we should ignore our mortality, our previous mortality.
Of course.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I know I was going to say, I was going to ask the question of how it's recorded and how accurate it is, but I think you've sort of covered that. I mean, it is hard, isn't it, to have accuracy, because you're going by the hospital statistics and, like you said, from the newspapers and, sources from the council. But, sometimes people have died from this disease now and they haven't visited the hospital. So we don't exactly know. So, of course, this is the minimum that we are recording. Is that correct? It's the minimum number.
I think it is a minimum number, but we are not restricted to information we get from hospitals. We actually, as I said, we get information from funeral parlors who have the death certificate and it stays there for his COVID death. From the community itself, people can ring and say, my relative has died or a friend has died, and so on. And also from the local councils, who presumably have information from nursing homes as well, or centers for the elderly, and so where, as we know, there's been massive.
One more thing to mention is, especially the Turkish Cypriot community losses, we liaise with Hussein Hoca.
Yes.
And also another Hoca who is liaising with Hussein Hoca. So they give us names and numbers continuously. And they are also a member of our group, so they can see what we publish and what we... So, as Eleni said, this is the numbers that we can establish. I mean, it is very difficult to be able to establish everyone, but we hope that there is not many numbers out there that we don't know. So it's a very difficult situation. So
what I was going to say is maybe, what with having programs like this, where we're actually letting the public know more so about your group, it's very good for people to maybe join on, become members and be aware of this group, and relatives, if they can. I know it's very hard times. I know they're probably very traumatized and very upset that their loved ones have passed away, but it's extremely important that we document these deaths so that these people don't get forgotten, really. And we know what our statistics are as the two communities together as a Cypriot community. So I think what you're doing is extremely important in documenting this, because these people can't be forgotten. This crisis and this pandemic, the statistics are extremely important for us to move forward, not only to remember these cases and these people who have unfortunately died, but also to inform us so that we have less deaths. And like you said, the information is all in one place, so people, as soon as they are taken ill or they need some sort of assistance, can go to one place and collect information. So I think it's extremely important. But that sort of leads me on to my next point about the fact that the two communities are coming together. And as Arton quite rightly said, this disease doesn't, affect a certain community. And as Eleni said, yes, we have been affected badly, but not as badly as other communities. So there's hope there for us. What do we think about the flights to Cyprus? Shall I start with Eleni? What do we think about that issue?
May I make a small point before we move on to that? You quite rightly mentioned how the communities have got together, which is a wonderful thing. And certainly, as I said before, some of our groups have been working together towards that day. But what is important, we have a Facebook page where we make sure all deaths are recorded, all the names of the people with photographs when we can, are recorded there. And then anybody in the community has the opportunity to put a note there, to send condolences to the family. And I think this is, and this happens with Turkish Cypriots putting condolences for a Greek Cypriot death and the other way around. And this gives the opportunity to, for people who lost a close, a loved person, to feel supported, not only by their family and friends, but by the whole community, and but by all the Cypriot community, irrespective of ethnicity. And I think that is a good thing in that it brings us together. We're all humans and we're all from the same background, and we do care for each other. And I think that's a very good platform for people to be able to do so. And I'm grateful for this Zubis, who actually spends a lot of time to ensure that all the names appear on that page.
Yes. And thank you for actually being part of creating this group. Honestly, I think it's a very, very good thing that you're doing, really. Like you said, it's very reassuring for the families, but it's also bringing the community together. How lovely that a Greek Cypriot will make a comment on a Turkish Cypriot and vice versa. I think that's really, really important in, you know, making the focus go the right way, really, for our future and for us working together as two communities, because like you said, we've got very similar backgrounds. We are all Cypriot, and I think we all need to join together, especially during such a crisis and hard times. But yes, about the flights, what are your thoughts about?
Yes. Of what I know, Cyprus is one of the countries that's put in place restrictions of movement and isolation fairly early. And that's been a good thing because the pandemic was contained in Cyprus. And one of the measures they took was to stop flights coming into the country. So the only flights that come, at least to Larnaca, are for Cypriots who happen to be abroad and want to return. And that applies to both Greek and Turkish Cypriots or other ethnic Cypriot groups. What happens is that irrespective of whether they have or not the virus, anybody who arrives on Cyprus ground is put in isolation for 2 weeks. So the state has organized for special centers, usually hotels, in a nice place up in the mountains.
Yes.
People are looked after and in isolation free of charge for 2 weeks, and then they go. If there are Turkish Cypriots who prefer to have their isolation on with their families, then arrangements are made for people to be transferred. So that's the general arrangement. There are also flights that go out of Cyprus for foreign citizens who want to leave Cyprus, but they cannot come back. It's
Yes.
very strict. Foreign citizens cannot as yet come to Cyprus. So they managed to contain the pandemic quite a lot. I think the latest of cases, as far as I know, in the last few days have been about 5 Greek Cypriots and none Turkish Cypriots. So we are doing very well, and no deaths in the last several days. So hopefully it will be contained, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think Cyprus were very good. They actually quarantined very quickly. I think they were a good example. Obviously, their population is smaller, so it's not fair to compare it to the United Kingdom in that sense. But what I am very impressed with is that they shut their borders, not because they wanted to divide or anything like that, but because they just wanted to keep their citizens safe. So I think that's a very important point to make. Arton, is there anything else you'd like to add
Yes.
with regards to flights?
Yes, about the flights, similar things happened for the northern part of Cyprus as well. I don't want to go into detail. What Eleni said also happened on the north. We know that 3 or 4 flights from UK full of passengers, especially mainly students, went to Cyprus, and they were kept in isolation for 2 weeks, and then they went to their houses. I think people who went from UK, there are no more isolations left. They all went back to their homes. And in Cyprus, in North Cyprus, the life started getting back to normal slowly. There is no deaths apart from 4 that happened at the beginning. But our main, our main thing as COVID-19 community solidarity group is to concentrate on the issues here in the UK.
Yes.
So one thing that I would like to mention is that COVID-19 sooner or later is going to go. Now, what will happen in aftermath of this COVID-19 crisis is that a lot of problems, especially economic, social problems, will arise from this crisis. So the group that we formed, Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots, it is very, very important that we increase the solidarity and the work between us so that we continue to help people when they will have problems like that. Because there will be a lot of Cypriots, like every other community, losing their jobs, losing their businesses, and having a lot of difficulties with their lives. So we need to raise our, our bar, shall I say, and increase our work around this and plan it from now. We are in isolation now. I think we will be in isolation until the end of this month. So we need to brainstorm and think about more things that can be done in the future around this solidarity group, and maybe increase more people attending the group, more people joining the group, and thinking for the future as well. This is going to be a very, very good base.
Yes, I think that's a very important point, because not everyone is a specialist, and we need to actually tap into everybody's specialism and bring lots of different people from the community together. So like you said, when the economic crisis hits, because the country's borrowing a lot of money and we have to pay this back somehow. And like you said, people are going to be losing their jobs. People may not be able to sustain their businesses because of this economic crisis. People will need support and help.
Yes.
And I think a group like this coming together is extremely important, not just to offer advice, but to offer support mentally for people and their well-being, so that people can actually survive beyond COVID-19. It's certainly a very good point that we need to become fluid. And I think this group that's been formed is extremely important. We've got so many comments. I'll just quickly go through some of them. Suleiman has said, hi, Liya Allah. That's basically good broadcasting. May God give you, ease to do this. Mustafa has said, well done, both of you. I mean, lots of support coming in from our audiences. Yasmin, she was on my program recently. She is also part of a Turkish Cypriot group, said, excellent work. Well done for all your efforts. Great program. Fotios has given a heart. Mustafa has said, well done to the people who have formed this group to provide and offer help for our communities. And Nils, if the Cypriot community is coming together, then why were the borders shut? Shouldn't flee. If the Cypriot community is coming together, then why were the borders shut? Shouldn't Cyprus work together as a whole against this virus? I think that is your point, isn't it? Whoever wants to start that question off, Artun, do you want to start?
Well, I just want to say that
to answer that,
it's a bit breaking up, but I try to understand what you were saying. But I think I got the message. What I'd like to say here, it is very important that we leave politics aside. We are a group that is trying to help, regardless, every Cypriot person, whether it's a Greek Cypriot, Turkish Cypriot, Maronite, whatever, around this crisis. What I'm saying is, let's leave politics aside, let's leave our personal beliefs aside, and come together as Cypriots and work together. If we manage to do this in the UK, then we can turn and help our country as well. What happened in Cyprus? They closed the borders. I don't want to go into those issues. It was a health issue. It was nobody knew in the world what was going to happen. Why did the borders close? Why didn't they close? Everybody was thinking differently. That's not the issue that we are concerned about now. We are concerned about the lives of the people, the future of the people, the economics of the people that will come after this crisis. So what can we do about that? Leave the politics and the religion and everything aside and come together, all the expertise that we have in the Cypriot community, which I'm sure we have a lot, let's put them together and create something that will help us move forward as Cypriots. That's what the message is from our group.
Have we lost connection?
Bellona'dan büyük indirim. Şık tasarımlarıyla ev hanımlarımızın hayalini süsleyen Venti yatak odası takımı Bellona şubelerinde sizleri bekliyor. Bronz aynası, dairesel kulp tasarımı, yerden yüksek yapısıyla temizliği kolay, storage alanıyla fazlalıklarınızı saklayabileceğiniz Venti yatak odası takımı yalnızca 2395 pound. Evet, yanlış duymadınız. 5 kapılı Venti yatak odası takımı 3700 pound yerine şimdi yalnızca 2395 pound'a sizleri bekliyor. Hadi hemen 266-270 Enfield High Street ve 219-221 Lewisham High Street'te bulunan Bellona şubelerimize gelin, yatak odası takımını alın gidin. Hadi bu fırsatı kaçırmayın. Yine sizin için, yine Bellona.
Hello, sorry about, I don't know what happened. The internet completely cut off.
Advertisements.
That happened before. I'll just go back. We've got an advert on.
Okay.
It just all disconnected.
Okay.
I'll somebody get it or put.
Disconnected again.
It's gone again.
Welcome, we are Bellona, calling newlyweds or those looking for a new bedroom set. Venti 5-door bedroom set is not only glamorous and modern, but has storage inside the bed. This bedroom set was £3,700, now £2,395. Bellona, we are here for you.
Welcome back to the latest printed press, and we're talking about the Cypriot communities coming together, and we were just looking at Nilsat Satellite's question saying, for example, those who live in North Cyprus can't pass to the south to be able to get to their pension money, and if the Cypriot community is coming together, then why are the borders shut? Shouldn't Cypriots work together as a whole community against this virus? And Artem Bey was trying to answer that, and we cut off. Apologies for that. And we went into adverts, and we're now back.
Okay. As I was just saying, we are mainly concentrated on the problems in the UK as the group. And as the Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots in the UK, we are focused on that. I know in Cyprus there are issues across the border, but that's not something that we can influence at this moment. I'm sure the governments all over the world didn't know exactly what to do, so the borders were shut. The Turkish Cypriots sites shut the borders, Greek Cypriots shut some borders, so it was something to do to maintain the health of the people. So it's no point getting into those discussions at the moment. What I'm trying to say is the group that we formed here as the Turkish Cypriot, as the Cypriot communities, is important that we look to the future. We form a good collaboration between us. We get all the expertise of all the Cypriots, which I'm sure we have a lot. Leave politics aside, leave religions aside, leave everything aside. Come together as Cypriots, and I'm sure we can do a lot for the communities in the UK, and then we can help the people of Cyprus in our homeland, Cyprus, as well. And I'm sure everybody, all the expertise in Cyprus are thinking of solving their problems as well. And in the future, there will be things that we can do for them as well.
Yes, definitely. We're sort of coming to the jaw of our program, but obviously we lost a couple of minutes due to the adverts and disconnection. So I'd quite like to end on a positive. There's been lots of positive comments. Everybody is supporting this group. Eleni, where can they find this? Is this on Facebook? What sort of social media forums is this group on?
Yeah, we are on Facebook. Anybody can go there and look at what is placed on Facebook. People can put information that they think is relevant to the group or to other people. It would be scrutinized because we don't want to allow any political or non-COVID related issues or advertisements to go on the site. I'm pleased to say that our membership has increased, starting with about 10 people. We now have 333, that's the latest. And of course, it is open to anybody in the community, the Cypriot community, to get into the page or to be part as a member of the group. What I would like to add is that the group offers, because of its links with other groups, we have some volunteers who can help people in practical terms with shopping or bringing them medications or whatever. Also, to talk to people who live on their own and may not have family or close friends around, to keep in touch with them. So we'll be able to offer all that. As a psychiatrist, I'm offering, if people want advice as to how to deal with issues to do with mental health problems, I'm happy to be contacted by the group. But if I may, stop me if I go on too long, because I appreciate there's no time. But as a doctor, I wanted to mention something about health, both physical and mental health. And just very briefly on the issue of physical health, a lot of people don't know if they are not well, whether they should go to their doctor or not. And it is very important that if they are seriously ill, somebody has cancer, for example, and is due for diagnostic tests or to start treatment, to make contact with their GP and the services to ensure they have the appropriate treatment. Because we're not just dealing with COVID, of course we have the pandemic, but we also have other serious illnesses. And in terms of the psychological, a lot of people find it difficult to be in isolation, particularly our community that tends to be very social community and people like to be together with each other. It can be quite hard, and conditions such as anxiety may be exacerbated or emerge in the context of this. So it's important to be aware of that and for people to seek advice and help if they think they are experiencing problems. And also, I wanted to emphasize that people who have pre-existing serious illness, like psychotic illness, schizophrenia, bipolar, severe depression, and so on, they really, I'm advising strongly that they keep in touch with the services. They don't have to go face to face, but by telephone or Skype, and to ensure they take the medication so they don't deteriorate or they don't relapse. This is very important. And if anybody or families need advice, I'll be very happy to help with that.
Fantastic. That's great.
And
And they can actually ask on the group forum, can they, for this sort of thing?
Yeah, they could contact us for those issues too, and I'll do my best to advise.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you
okay,
very
some a little bit general information about the group so that
Yeah.
people know. We also try to promote positive things around COVID-19. For example, one of the examples that we had last week was Ersu, a Turkish Cypriot who had been admitted to hospital and he was in a very bad condition. He was in coma. Now he is recovering, and when we put it on the Facebook page, getting it from other sites, we put it on our page. Everybody was, wishing him well, which gives a lot of encouragement and life back to people when we do that. Another example. I mean, I've been working with other groups as well, and there was a person in Istanbul who was from our village, and he had been to coma, and I found his picture and I put it on a Lurugina website, on a Facebook group, and all the people from Lurugina, hundreds and hundreds of people were wishing him well, and now he's up and he's got so much energy. I mean, these things are very important. So please, people out there who have important positive messages and want to give support to the family members, come through our Facebook page, share it with us, and we will give energy to the people who need it the most. Because remember, people are in isolation, and the only thing they can get is through networks. So this is very, very important. And I should emphasize that our group is formed of Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. We've got 5 Turkish Cypriot admins, 5 Greek Cypriot admins, and we are formed of EGA, Cypriot Community Center, Hatmi Cypriot Association, Turkish Cypriot Association for Democracy, National Federation of Cypriots, and Turkish Cypriot Community Association. These are all the associations that are involved in this work. And please, as I said before, leave all the politics and everything aside and come together, regardless of what you think, come together, join us around COVID-19, and we are going to achieve a lot around this work and help our community more.
Yes, not only for the current times, but for future times as well. I completely agree with you, Artan. I think it's a great group that's been formed, and you can see how much background work there is, how many associations are involved in it, and how many people behind those associations are involved in it already. And like you said, it's only been 1 month.
Yes.
We're at the close of our program. So, Eleni, what sort of last message would you like to tell our audience out there?
I would like to send a positive message that we don't see this isolation as some punishment that is imposed on us. We are isolating because we want to protect our own health, the health of our family, and the wider society as such. So we shouldn't see ourselves as victims of the situation, but as a treatment that we require, a prophylactic treatment essentially. And to advise everybody to stay home, to stay safe, and please to look out for people who may need help and support. Maybe just a telephone call or somebody who's on their own will make their day. So let's remember that as well, and remember our community.
Definitely, that's a very good point. Thank you very much. And Artur Bey, what's your lasting message?
Yeah,
to
my
our
last
audience?
thing is I'd like to emphasize the name of the group. It is called COVID-19 Cypriot Communities Solidarity Group. So if you go on Facebook and you type in this name, you will come across our group, COVID-19 Cypriot Communities Solidarity Group. And if you want to get in touch with the people that are involved in the group, if you scroll at the page, you will find telephone numbers, both landline and mobile. And also there is an email that you can get in touch if you don't want to call. So there is all sorts of, means of communication, telephone, email, or you can send messages through the Facebook. So we can get in touch with you, and then we can take it from there. So
Definitely.
I would like to say thank you very much to your program. to what's the name of the program?
Latest
Yeah.
printed press.
Yes, latest printed press for Genç TV. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity, and I'm sure that we will challenge all these problems in a good way and come out positively out of this.
Yes, definitely. That's a great way to end the program. And you're more than welcome in the future to come regularly onto my program as a platform to, you know, talk about your group and what the latest things are. It seems to be a very fluid group that's growing as the times are changing. So I think it's, you know, very much needed in this current time. And I think very good and positive things will come out of it. Somebody's per COVID-19 UK Cypriot Community Solidarity Group, the Facebook name of the page, please print on your show. I shall do that. It's at the top anyway as part of information about our program today. And we're going to be sharing this out to lots of different groups, community groups and forums tonight so that we can get the word out there. But thank you very much for coming on my program. Hopefully I will see you again. Your work is extremely positive and good and much needed. So it's been great having you on my program, the both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it from us from the Latest Printed Press. Apologies for the slight problems with the internet, but hopefully this program is here all together and will be shared out to lots of different pages so that you can get information. And I'll just repeat one more time, COVID-19 UK Cypriot Community Solidarity Group is the Facebook name. But like I said, we'll have many shows again talking about what this group will be doing in the next months and years to come. Thank you very much. That's it from us. Have a very good evening from Euro Genç TV.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, we are Bologna, calling newlyweds or those looking for a new bedroom set. Venti 5-door bedroom set is not only glamorous and modern, but has storage inside the bed. This bedroom set was £3,700, now £2,395. Bologna, we are here for you.